Hey there, friends. It's Kate, and we are doing wind down yoga tonight. So go ahead and grab a couple blocks, a couple blankets, a bolster if you have it, a bunch of pillows off the bed, um, yoga mat if you want. I've got a chair and a wall. You can also do this in bed if you want. So, what we're doing is a nice, relaxing wind down from the day yoga. And let's get started. So, welcome, friends. First thing we're going to do is find a comfortable position to sit, and we're just going to breathe for a moment here. So, if it's not comfortable to sit on the floor, you can sit on your bed or a chair. That's fine. You can also sit up on something that might be a little bit more comfortable too. There we go. Okay. So, let's take a couple breaths here before we get started. So, we're just going to, before we breathe, let's notice what's going on in the body. So now is the time to let go of the day, let go of any concerns or thoughts, put them in a box, put it up on the shelf, and you can think about that later. Now is just time for you to have a nice, calm evening and relax. All right, so let's just notice if anything's going on in the body. If we're feeling any tension anywhere, maybe do a shoulder roll if your neck is tight, or just settle in and get ready. All right, so we're just going to take a couple breaths here next. And all that involves is we're just going to pay attention to the tip of the nose. We don't have to think about it. We're just going to inhale and exhale. We'll do a couple rounds of breathing, just bringing your attention to the tip of the nose. Just inhale and exhale. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable. Rest your hands on your lap. And just take a couple more breaths just like this. No pushing, no stressing, just bringing your attention just to the tip of the nose. Just a regular inhale and a regular exhale. Let's do one or two more like that. Beautiful. All right, so if you've closed your eyes, you can gently open them. And the first thing we're going to do is our first pose of the evening is we're going to do legs up the wall. So if you have a job that you are on your feet all day, this is great to do at any time, just to bring all of that gravity back the other way. So I'm gonna come over here. So you're gonna find a spot. If you're on your bed, you can bring your legs up on the wall or up on the headboard. Or if you are at the bed, you can bring your legs up on the bed. Or you can use a chair. I can show you that real quick. So you're just going to come up, bring the calves up, and lay down like that. If you want, you can bring the legs up straight and just rest them on the chair, or rest the whole of the calves and the feet on the chair, however that's comfortable. If you have a wall that's available, I'm going to encourage you to find that wall. One of the things you can do is bring a blanket under the hips to be on the floor. So the easiest way to get up on the wall, to bring the legs up on the wall, is to sit perpendicular to the wall. And then as you come down with an arm, we're going to swing the legs up. All right, I got more props here than I need, but it's good to have something on hand. So I have a little bit of a blanket under the hips, And I'm just going to take my glasses off and put them right here so I don't step on them. And we're just going to get comfortable here. We're going to be here for a few moments. If you want, you can bring the feet a little bit away from each other. If you have a wider wall than this, you can bring the legs out a little bit wider up against the wall if that's comfortable. And let's just go back to paying attention to the breath. So maybe tuck the shoulder blades under if that's comfortable. Palms can be up or down. And the great thing about this pose is there's nothing really to do, but just relax. So if it's uncomfortable to be up on something, you can take that out. You can be closer to the wall if that's more comfortable. And let's just come into the breath. So we're just going to gentle inhale and gentle exhale. If you're paying attention and you want to count, sometimes counting things before sleep can help you ease into that slumber. That's the other thing we're going to talk about on these wind down yoga is our sleep hygiene. So let's say you wake up in the middle of the night and you're having trouble falling back asleep. A tool that you might use is counting. I do multiplication tables. A lot of there's a lot of other suggestions. You could do the alphabet, so all the flowers you can think of that start with A, and then go to B and C and so on. Or you could do dog breeds or cats or vegetables, all kinds of things. So let's just keep that breath going. So what I was saying was on the inhale, just regular inhale. See if you can make the exhale 1 or 2 seconds longer than the inhale. So if you don't feel like counting, you can say a phrase. I am breathing in as you inhale. And then I am breathing out and just add a word onto the end. Now, longer. I am breathing in. I am breathing out longer. And if you get distracted, just bring your attention back to the breath. And let's take maybe 3 to 5 more breaths here. And when you feel like you've completed that pose that we're in right now, we're going to bring the legs down towards the chest, and then I'm going to move this blanket out of my way, rolling over onto one side or the other. So we're going to take our time coming up. So we'll just take a couple breaths here. And then we're going to come into our next pose. So I'm going to come up onto hands and knees. And our next pose is going to be a child's pose. So We're going to do it with a bolster if you have one. Otherwise, you fold up a couple blankets or a couple pillows off the bed. Let's see, we'll face this way. So to do this, I'll come onto the mat. My toes are touching and then my knees are about as wide as the mat. I'm going to bring the bolster in between the knees, and then we're just going to fold down onto the bolster. So you can do one side of the head for half the time and then switch, or rest the forehead on the hands. And just settling in. If this is uncomfortable on the ankles, you can take a blanket and roll it up. And bring it over the ankles like that. If that's comfortable, or under the feet, if you need a little bit more space for the ankles that way. And once you get settled, let's bring our attention back to the breath. And if you're comfortable counting the breath, you can do that. Or if you prefer, again, a phrase. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. And if you like, at any point, you can switch sides with the head. Feeling the length in the spine. And let's take one or two more breaths here. Deepening the inhale, lengthening the exhale. One more inhale and exhale. Beautiful. We're going to come up to hands and knees. I'm moving any props out of your way. And let's do a little bit of movement here before we come into our next pose. So we're just going to go through our cat and cow. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then back to neutral. We're going to come down onto the back and we're going to do a supported twist. So that is, you're going to want the bolster maybe, or blocks or blanket, something for the knees to land on. So let's go ahead and, let's see, I'm going to flip this way so I have room for my arms. All right. And then props are ready so I can grab something if need be. All right, so coming down onto the back. And if you want just a little Apanasana to lengthen out and a little bit of ease in that lower back. So we're gonna bring the feet down to the mat, and then you can bring the arms out to the sides here. And we're just gonna do a little bit movement before we come into the pose. So knees go side to side a little bit. And then picking your first direction. So you can either bring both knees over to the right or both knees over to the left. And then we're going to bring the arms out to the sides. Knees can be supported by the blanket or blocks or the bolster, whatever feels comfortable. And then you can decide where you want the head. So you can look the same direction as the knees. You can look up towards the ceiling or opposite direction of the knees. So opposite is a deeper twist. And we're going to start by bringing our attention back to the breath. So this opposite shoulder wants to be down on the floor. We don't want to be popping up. And bringing your attention back to the breath. And just bring your attention to the tip of the nose. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the knees back to center. And then to the other side. So I'm going to switch my blanket over to this side and drop the knees over, this time for the left for me, and head to the right. So if it's comfortable, you can close your eyes. And let's check back in with that breath. Maybe check on that shoulder, see if it's not popping up. And just bringing that attention back to the breath, to the tip of the nose. Or if you prefer, you can count or have a phrase that you like. You can always add words as the breath lengthens. And then when you're ready, let's bring the knees and the head both back to center. We're going to bring the hands to the knees and we're going to exhale, knees come in, inhale, knees go out. So this pose is called Apanasana or wind relieving pose. We can bring the knees out a little bit wider if that's more comfortable. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to do one more pose before our final relaxation pose. So we're going to do a little setup here. So I'm going to sit up and I'm going to grab my bolster. So we're going to do a supported pose. Okay, so I have 2 blocks and then I'm going to set my bolster up on the blocks like that. So I've got a nice incline. Do a couple of pillows, just want that nice smooth incline. And then I've got blocks to go under my knees. So we're going to do Cobbler's pose or Badakanasana. So back, lower back, right up to the edge of that bolster. Soles of the feet come together and the knees out to the sides. So I'm just going to set the blocks under the knees, roll down onto the bolster. And if you have an extra blanket, you can bring that under the neck, kind of roll it under the neck so the neck is supported as well. And then you've got another set of blocks, which I don't have handy. You can rest your arms on the blocks, but my knees need it more than my hands. So we're just going to take a few breaths here. Again, your choice, you can bring your attention to the tip of the nose. Or if you like your phrase, now the breath comes in, now the breath goes out, or now I am inhaling, now I'm exhaling. You can add longer, even longer than that, and on and on. Or counting, if that's okay. Some people like it, some people don't. That's all right. But just letting that breath release and relax, letting the body just fall into this pose. And we'll take another 3 or so breaths here. When you're ready to come out, we're going to bring the hands under the knees, walk the feet flat, bring the knees together. And then we're going to kind of move stuff out of our way so we can get ready for our last pose. And that is our relaxation pose or Shavasana. So you can set up how you like for this. Now, I have a chair out and I also have a bolster. So what I can show you is what it looks like with either of those. You can just be flat on the floor if that feels okay, or propped in any way. So we're all about winding down and relaxing, coming into this calm space. So any of those options are up to you, how you want to do it tonight. So I'm going to turn the big light off. So it's going to get very dark. All right, so I am just going to use the bolster here under the knees. And I have one blanket so that the neck is supported. And this is the pose that we let go of everything. So we're going to let go of breath. We're going to let go of movement. We're going to let go of thinking. And just come into peacefulness and calmness. Letting the bones be heavy and the muscles relax. The skin is soft. There's no more work to do. The earth's gravity is holding you. Excuse me, the air around you is breathing. Just going to take a few moments and be human beings, not human doings. You're welcome to stay in your relaxation pose as long as you like. Turn off your phone, turn out the lights, and just stay here and be as long as you like. Or when you're ready, we're going to roll over to one side or the other and wiggle your toes and fingers, roll your head side to side. And then when you're ready, rolling over. And then gently taking your time, coming up to a seated position. And we are going to have a beautiful, restful rest of your evening. Enjoy your practice for tonight and don't go do any chores and get yourself all riled up, so to speak. So just take the next 3 breaths. Attention can be at the tip of the nose again. Just a nice, smooth inhale, nice, soft exhale. And again, inhale and exhale. And one last time. Inhale and exhale. Thank you for joining me, friends. Enjoy your evening. Namaste.